Hey guys, in this video, we're hearing from one of the most active defense tech investors in America. He's someone who's been backing Palantir before most people took it seriously. He's on Bloomberg talking about why defense tech is entering a new era and why companies like Palantir are no longer just startups, they're now a part of a modern industrial base. We're going to walk through the three major signals here, why the market is finally catching up to what early investors saw in Palantir, how the public and private defense sector is accelerating, and why a new generation of highly driven founders is reshaping national security from the ground up.
Marlinspike is a notable VC investor in the sector, backing companies such as Palantir, Shield AI, and Anduril. Marlinspike CEO Neil Keegan joins us now. Look, you've been in this game a long time. What is it, since 2020? You've been backing some of these names. Palantir's near a record high today, so congratulations. What are we seeing in terms of the rest of the VC industry following your lead?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me, Caroline. It's an honor to be on Bloomberg, particularly on a day where there's a lot more green than red on the screen. So what we're seeing, particularly as it relates to defense technology and dual use, which is where we spend our time investing, we're looking for very disruptive companies that can make an impact on our industrial base. I mean, we're here to build with these high growth technology companies the most robust and durable industrial base that we can. And as it relates to Iran, look, this was a long time coming for this strike, and we've significantly degraded their capabilities. But I think it highlights that a country like Iran and some of our other competitors are not going to come at us in traditional ways. We need to be ready for asymmetric threats. And that is one of the real goals for where we're investing in, looking for companies that can not suffer a failure of imagination after 9/11. We need to focus on all the tools that we have at hand in terms of AI, autonomous systems, and advanced manufacturing. These are the new companies that are going to work in concert with some of the great defense companies that we have that produce our exquisite capital systems that we actually saw on display over the weekend.
Okay, so what Neil just said is for sure one of the most important shifts happening right now. He's not talking about Palantir as a high growth tech stock. He's talking about it as core infrastructure in the US defense ecosystem. That's completely different from what many investors look at Palantir as. When Neil says we're building the most durable industrial base possible, he's talking about defense not just as hardware, but as a software first operating system. And that puts Palantir in the same category as SpaceX and other new primes. It's not about quarterly earnings, it's about enduring national capability. That line about failure of imagination isn't fluff. It's the problem with how defense has worked for decades. These companies are built to solve problems legacy systems still don't even see coming.
Work in concert. Is that happening more at the moment, Neil?
Absolutely. And first of all, hats off to our brave men and women that planned this decisive strike. There was a lot of thought and coordination that went into this. And I like to paraphrase Admiral Paparo, who likes to say, we need not only the will, but the capability. And I think we demonstrated both with a high degree of success on Saturday evening. I do see, or we do see from our team, more coordination with the large legacy primes and really the new, you can call them new kids in the block, but companies like SpaceX and Palantir have been around for over 20 years. And what I think is really fascinating is we're seeing a very open tie-up between these market leaders to work together so we can effectively renew Freedom's Forge 2.0, which is the coming together of the public and the private markets to defend America and our allies so we can be ready with the best possible tech to give it to our warfighters and intelligence community.
Neil, it's interesting you say the intelligence community. We do understand still really a battle damage assessment is needed to show clarity of the effectiveness of what happened over the course of the weekend. We started this conversation, this show, with the CSIS, Emily Harding on the show, really talking about how now intelligence could be an area of innovation and of fostering. Is that something you've been looking at? How is AI changing that game?
Sure, it certainly is, and it's an integrated part. I mean, you mentioned, Palantir. Palantir was really formed in the wake of 9/11. They were an early In-Q-Tel investment. In-Q-Tel, as you and a lot of your viewers may know, has been investing in the intelligence community on behalf of our country for over 25 years. This is a group that we're very close to. We understand their return on mission. We're also in this to make great returns for our investors. But it's very important that these groups, work hand in glove together.
Let me stop right there again, because this is the part that puts Palantir's whole mission in context. Neil reminds the audience that Palantir was formed in the wake of 9/11 and that it's still closely tied to mission-focused returns. This is what most people miss when they try to compare Palantir to a SaaS company. The return isn't just on revenue, it's on mission, on capability, on resilience. He makes it clear this isn't just about government contracts anymore. It's about companies and agencies working hand in glove to secure off balance frontiers like cyber, intelligence, autonomous systems, and infrastructure. Let me add that Palantir's not the newcomer anymore. Neil says people are leaving Tesla and Palantir to start the next generation of defense tech companies. Palantir has become the school, the playbook, and that's probably the strongest sign of all that they're winning.
And I see that happening, more and more and more, and that's a great thing. Not only at the later stage where these companies have really blossomed and they've got product market fit, growing revenues, getting major contracts, but also on the earlier stage. We're very excited to see that. It seems like almost every day there are bright young men and women that are leaving great companies like Tesla and Anduril and Palantir and SpaceX, and they're starting new companies with new capabilities, and we're excited to spend time with them and to back them in the earlier stages as well.
What's interesting is we're still perhaps wondering what the key buy signal is here for yet more contracts, Neil. We keep saying the same names time and time again, Palantir, Anduril, because they have made such moves. They have managed to intertwine themselves with the administration and get more contracts. But is that going broader? Because Emily Harding at the top of the show was sort of outlining that there's a lot of talk about allocating funds towards these startups, but sometimes not enough walk.
I would say that's a fair assessment, and I don't want to belabor the valley of death comment in our space. There's been a lot written about that. We must change what we buy, how we buy it, and get new technology with a lot of the newer entrants in the space to the warfighter.
All right, what Neil just laid out is a playbook and a warning. He's seeing more VCs enter this space, more tech founders leave big tech to work on defense, and more capital flowing into dual-use innovation. And at the center of that movement is Palantir, not because they're trendy, because they've proven the model. Long before Google and Meta started pivoting into military applications, Palantir was building software for mission-critical environments and doing it with a mindset of profit and purpose. That phrase, profit and purpose, isn't just branding. It's why this wave of defense investment feels different. These aren't contractors looking for margins. They're operators building tools to protect democratic systems. And when this VC says, we are in this not only for profit, but also for purpose, he's not just talking about his portfolio. He's describing a shift in the entire ecosystem.